What's going on, my friends? It's Doctor.Gainz here, and in today's video, I'm going to give you a step-by-step tutorial on how you could learn and master your first ever pull-up. And I have a surprise guest appearance with my girlfriend, Niki. So, in today's video, I'm going to show you the 3 best exercises you need to utilize if you're trying to learn that first pull-up. When Niki first started her calisthenics journey, she started at scratch. She couldn't do a single pull-up. She couldn't even pull 1 inch up towards the bar. And since then, she's really mastered her pull-ups. She's gotten to the point where she could do over 20 consecutive strict pull-ups, and she could do over 50 pounds on the pull-up. So a pull-up with an additional 50 pounds on a belt, and all the way up and all the way down with strict form. So with the exercises I show you today, you're going to learn how you could learn your first ever pull-up and eventually master your pull-ups. Okay. Before we get started, I'm going to have her just bust out 5 pull-ups so we can all see how a perfect pull-up should look like. So we're going to start off with 5 pull-ups here just to show you how a good pull-up should look like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As you can see, there's no momentum there. Chin is over the bar, and there's a full lockout at the bottom of every rep. So now let's get to it. Let's show you the 3 best exercises you could use to learn that first pull-up. So the first exercise you could use to learn your pull-up is an assisted pull-up. When you're first using these resistance bands, you don't want to start with a super thin one. You want to start with a pretty thick one, maybe about 2, 3, maybe even 4 inches thick. And as you get better and better, as you train it more and more, you eventually progress to the thinner band. So you can have a partner help you bring it down if you're struggling bringing it down yourself. Get both of your feet in the resistance band, and from there you're just going to do a pull-up like you normally would if it was body weight. So legs nice and straight, full lockout at the bottom, chin over the bar, and repeat. So you could buy these bands on Amazon, maybe Walmart or Dick's Sporting Goods. They sell them in variety packs, they sell them in singles. I do recommend getting a variety pack. That way you can start with the thicker ones, and as you get better, you progress to the thinner ones until you get to the point you don't need them anymore. If you don't have access to these yet, most gyms will have an assisted pull-up machine where you rest your knees on and you can pull from there. Although those are better than doing no pull-ups, I definitely recommend resistance band over the machines. So the second exercise I recommend to learn your first full pull-up is either an iso hold or isometric hold or a pull-up negative. So let's start with the pull-up negative. You could have a step onto the platform here. So for the pull-up negative, you're going to want to jump up and use the momentum, use your legs to jump up, and then just try hold up over the bar and go down nice and slow. Maybe try to take at least 8 seconds before you reach all the way down to that bottom position. So let's see 1 pull-up negative. So you're going to jump up, use that momentum for your legs. Ideally you want the pull-up bar to be a little shorter, but we're just using this for example. So jump up.
I don't know if I can.
So you can jump up. This bench isn't the best to jump up from, or you can have a partner hold you up. And then you're going to hold up for a few seconds. Just go slowly down. Slow, 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 slow. Obviously, at first, it's going to be very difficult to hold yourself over the bar. So even if it's only for like 1 or 2 seconds, that's fine. But the objective is to get as much of that hold time as you can and slowly go down. So that's a negative. Another type of hold you could do is known as an isometric hold, where you just hold steady at a certain position. So you could hold over the bar, or you could hold just under the bar, or you could break it up into a little bit of each of those during the set. So let's see an isometric hold. Let's just hold a couple seconds over the bar, and then a few seconds under the bar, and then just go all the way down. So let's jump up there. So you'll hold it here, 1, 2, 3, and then let's say you try holding there as much as you can. And then you just go all the way down and repeat. So negatives and iso holds are similar, but on the iso hold, you're just trying to hold steady in that position. The negative, you're trying to go down, just nice and steady, nice and slow. Both of these are great to learn your first pull-up because it's going to be working the same muscles, the same tendons, the same connective tissue that a normal pull-up would. So it really helps build that base foundation strength by going from the top down rather than a normal pull-up, the bottom up. And the third and final exercise I strongly recommend to learn your first pull-up is an Australian pull-up or rows. So both similar exercises, but typically we refer to an Australian pull-up when you're doing it on a set of parallel bars or a short pull-up bar. It's like a horizontal row. When we're using the rings, we often call them just typical rows. Sometimes some people might call it Australian pull-ups. So as you can see here, I'm actually going to grab the camera so we get a little better angle. So as you could see, you could grab any type of rings or TRX or some type of suspension like equipment, and from there we're going to do those rows. So you could do a couple of different grips. You could do an overhand grip, or you could do a neutral grip, which is going to be palms facing each other, or you could do an underhand grip. Each grip is primarily going to work your back, but there's going to be slight differences. For example, on that underhand grip, it's going to work your biceps and arms just a little bit more than your traditional overhand or neutral grip. But regardless, any of those three grips are great ways to learn that first pull-up. Now, you can see the position of the feet. The further the feet are from the anchor point, so further away, let's walk the feet out a little bit, the harder it's going to, or the easier it's going to be. So if those feet are a little further from the anchor point, the reps are going to feel slightly easier. Let's do a rep from there. And if they're closer to the anchor point, they'll be a little bit harder. So the ring rows are an awesome way to build that pulling strength and to help you progress towards your very first pull-up. Again, if they feel easy, you want to walk your feet closer to that anchor point. And if they're difficult, you walk your feet further from the anchor point. But it's an awesome way to strengthen that back and help get closer to that first pull-up. So there you have it, my friends. Those are the best 3 exercises you could utilize to start training your back, to start training calisthenics, and to learn your very first pull-up. Now, a key disclaimer is that consistency triumphs all. You want to make sure you're consistent with your training. You want to make sure you're consistent with these 3 exercises, and you're conscious of trying to make them a little bit more difficult as the weeks go on. So a little thinner on the resistance band, a little longer holds on those iso holds, and a little bit more challenging with those ring rows or those Australian pull-ups. And eventually you will get your very first pull-up. If you like this video, make sure you like the video, comment, subscribe, share it with a friend, and let's all get those gains. I'll catch you all next time.